1 second, it's a lot now, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty wild, huh?
Barrick and Branch now separated by just 1 second. Loeb takes a big chunk out of Sainz's lead. Yeah, it's a good day, but still one in front. No more Gauchard. Guthrie takes command in the challenges.
Gotten the lead of the T3s and then kind of just stayed there. It was nice to have clean air in front of us.
Welcome to Dakar 2024. The story of the day is the Dakar Classic. Several chapters. Chapter 1, How Not to Negotiate a Monster Dune.
We try to go on this dune, but I didn't expect this is so cut just after the edge. So we went down through the edge and we stopped on the front of the car and flip over. Speed was not very good, but it was enough to roll over. But we are okay. Maybe not mentally, but physically it's okay.
What you call a collapsed dune, and it catches you out.
We will try to come this way with the truck. And we can connect it.
Minimal force.
What is the plan now?
Now we'll be towed to the service area. This truck will help us. This Dakar, we helped people on the first day. They rolled over, we helped them. Now this karma came back to us. We are happy. We can go!
Another very early start for the bikers this morning as they reach the start line before 7 a.m. But on paper, this would be an easier day in the saddle. Top of the paper is it's highly flammable.
Hopefully today there's less dust and we can push a little bit faster. Some new sand today, so a little bit of moisture underneath, so it'll be interesting to see how wet it even is out there, but I'm happy to be at the start for stage 8.
So far, world champion Luciano Benavides is enjoying week 2 much more than he enjoyed week 1. Well, we're starting second today, so we'll be careful with the navigation, and then we try and push as hard as possible to enjoy a good stage. Nacho Cornejo preparing to open the piste for the 3rd time on this Dakar after picking up another stage win yesterday. But it's never easy to open. We'll try to do a good job and not lose too much time. We're 3rd, and there's a big battle up front, but we'll keep fighting every day, he says, until the very end. This stage of 2 halves, sand and dunes for 165 kilometers before a long transfer to the second part, which will be in more rocky and mountainous terrain. If you subtract the transfer from the special, it's a total of 279 kilometers against the clock. So even with a tricky set of notes, there shouldn't be a huge gap at the line. We start with some onboard shots of Oran O'Kelly, the first Irishman to do the Dakar in over a decade. He's competing in the Vendetta Racing UAE team. Having sold a business back home to pursue his Dakar dream, O'Kelly is currently running 58th overall, just behind Jane Daniels, who's 52nd, and Dave McBride is running 51st. A bit further up the Rally 2 ladder, we find Diego Llanos. The Argentine came 26th in his debut 2 years ago. A friend of Benavides' brothers, Diego is riding for X-Raid's Experience and targeting a top 10 on Rally 2. And what do you know? He currently sits 10th in class. Top of the class. In a certain way. Mathieu Douza, he's the doozy, was the quickest on Rally 2 yesterday, coming in a minute and a half. And the class leader, Romain Demontier, the Frenchman, had another solid outing today, placing 17th on 2 wheels. In a bit of a pickle here, but Douza, yeah, currently enjoying a nice battle with the BAS World KTM teammates, Tony Mulech and Bradley Cox, son of Alfie. Great man he was, still is. They're just ahead of him in the overall standings. Jakob Albrecht, there he is, Albright. Yeah, impressed on his debut last year, finishing 22nd, but unfortunately it tumbled down the standings after breaking his chain guide on stage 3. He's still plugging away in the dust on the Doist team, I should say, one of America's most talented bikers, and still getting his head around Rally Raid. But remember that name. Well, the fastest Rally 2 rider, Harith Noah, who finished over a minute clear of Jean-Luc Lepin.
I know I won the Rally too, I get that. But yeah, it's a good feeling for sure. I definitely feel much confident, a lot more confident on the bike, confident with myself, and yeah, just doing what I do.
Big smile. Depends a lot on toothpaste, I think. Bad news through, I must say, for Nils Telik. After running into mechanical trouble yesterday, the Frenchman set off today in the Dakar Experience class, and allows amateurs to keep enjoying the adventure in Saudi without being part of the official standings. But the same problem struck again, and it's not easy fixing an engine in the desert. Telik is now out for good. Don't worry. They're just after sandwiches. But this pair will be fighting both tooth and nail all the way to Yanbu, Ricky Brabeck and Ross Branch. Our top 2 overall, separated by the narrowest of margins this morning by just 1 second, as you've heard. Branch says it's all about just finishing one day at a time. Well, Ricky wasn't too impressed by some of the tactical games being played out to improve the starting positions for tomorrow. Brabeck was 7th today, Branch 8th. The American now leads by 42 seconds. Rui Gonçalves is no longer part of the overall conversation after running into major technical problems during the 48-hour chrono stage. But the Sherco factory rider has made a positive start to the second week. The Portuguese rider was 6th fastest today. He did make a few mistakes while trying to combine speed and navigation, but he's happy with the bike and hopes to maintain a good pace for the rest of the rally. Well, it's a measure of Nacho Cornejo's talent as a navigator that he only lost 1 minute and 42 seconds today, despite setting off first. Yes, it was a shorter stage, and yes, he took over 3 minutes in bonus times, but the Chilean explained that when he's opening, he's capable of intense concentration, and he focuses on himself, the bike, and the road book, and so far, it's paying off. He's up to 3rd overall. That's it, you see. Set out what you want to do, and then do it. Simple. Life lesson. Adrian van Beveren definitely cut the most frustrated figure at the finish line. Frenchman made a tactical gamble today, and it backfired. He saw he had one of the best times at refueling, so decided to deliberately stop for a few minutes. The theory being that he would lose enough time to set off after his main rivals tomorrow on a day of tough navigation. But no such luck. AVB came 3rd and will no doubt have his work cut out for him on stage 9. Adrian van Beveren. Basically, he said, I wanted to finish 5th or 6th. I thought I'd be around there, but I came 3rd and threw away stage win. I don't like that aspect of the sport, and I'm really unhappy about how the day went.
C'est pas ce que j'aime de ce sport et je le vis pas bien et voilà.
Luciano Benavides did a fine job battling through the early dunes and camel grass to catch up with Nacho at the front. The world champion had one small crash towards the finish, but generally he was satisfied with his performance and how the second week has started on his new bike setup. Second place today, although he's nearly 40 minutes back overall. And it turned out to be a Benavides 1-2 for the first time on the Dakar, as Luciano's brother Kevin took the honours. The Argentine said it was an interesting day out with lots of varied terrain, and despite his injury woes in the build-up to the rally, he can count on defending champion. Can't count him out. He's now 20 minutes back. Well, I'm happy with the stage victory, and getting a 1-2 with my brother Luciano was really nice. Tomorrow I'll have to open, but there are 4 days left and we have to try and improve every single day. Everything is possible until the last metre. 31 seconds separating the Benavides brothers on the day. Toby Price came 5th, with Danny Sanders and Stefan Zvitko also inside the top 10. Brabeck and Branch are still separated by under a minute, followed by Corneco and Van Beveren. And keep an eye on Benavides, who's lurking just over 20 minutes back in 5th. Well, with 3 of their riders in the top 4, Monster Energy Honda team mechanics are being kept very busy on this Dakar. Let's find out a little bit more about just what their job involves, shall we?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Robert
Hello,
Ockenga.
my name is Roberto Conde. I work with the Monster Energy Honda team, and I'm going to show you exactly what we do on the Dakar. Every mechanic is assigned to one rider. They're responsible for the bike from A to Z. First, we get the information from the rider about what's happened on the day stage, and then we carry out standard day-to-day maintenance, changing the oil, filters, wheels, brake pads. We do a general check of the entire bike.
Et en fait, ils nous font remonter des infos sur les maintenances et les choses à changer selon les spéciales qu'il va y avoir.